to M Cubed. I am Brian, the merchant of the mix, which is Motley, and we're going to have proof of that today because this is a What Sold episode for the month of November. Not a bad month, 45 sales. That's, what's that, 1.5 per day, which is pretty good doing this part-time, and some good returns, some good average sales price, and very, very happy with the sales for November. Right smack dab in the middle of the fourth quarter, and December has started off pretty well as well. So just going to go right into it. Get into the 10 items that I want to show you. Again, when I and other YouTubers do these kind of What Sold episodes, we're not bragging. We're not trying to humble brag or anything like that. We are trying to show you what sold in our stores so that maybe you can look for these kinds of items when you're out thrifting or doing garage sales or auctions or whatever, so that you can sell them in your stores as well and maybe make a little bit of money on the side, as most of us are doing. All right, sliding over, let's get into it. First off is an interesting story. It is a Remington Shortcut Pro hair cutter. Brand new in the box. The auction house I used to work at is now doing a lot of Amazon returns and Amazon pulls and that kind of thing. Well, I've sold one last week for about $45 on a best offer. And then the next day was one of the online auctions for the auction house, and they had another one for sale. I picked it up for $17.50 plus fees. That's about $20 Canadian. I relisted the one that had already sold even before I had the new one in my possession, and it sold as I was pulling into the driveway to pick it up from the auction house. So I didn't even have it in my possession when I sold the second of two Remington hair cutters for a good $51 plus shipping. So great return on something which I knew was going to sell because they're popular, and I didn't even have it in my possession when I sold it. So that was great. Next item is something I showed you a little while ago, but I picked it up on speculation after doing some research on it. It was this Triumph motorcycle chain guard cover. Great big huge heavy metal thing with a chrome finish on it. I had it for about 3 months, I think, in the store. It sold finally on a best offer for $66 plus $13 towards the shipping, and it went to the States, which sort of surprised me because Triumph motorcycles weren't that popular in the States. They were big in the UK and Canada, but I guess this person had a Triumph motorcycle that they're either fixing up or need to replace a part, and that was great. I got this chain cover plus another timing belt cover for a grand total of $5 at auction back when I bought them, and this chain cover sold for $66 on its own, and I still have the other cover on the eBay store. Next up, very cute item. It was 4 Irish coffee style mugs with snowflakes on the sides, but I had 8 of them in total. So I was selling them as 4 at a time, and I had 2 lots available. Well, somebody bought both lots for a total of $26 plus $15 for the shipping, and it was an Ontario buyer, so it stayed in Ontario, which means the shipping was about twice as much as it would have been if I had shipped it to the United States. But it was a great sale. They picked up both of them. It just got there about 3 days ago, I think. So we'll see. I haven't received any feedback on that yet, but so far no word that anything was broken when I shipped 8 glass Irish coffee mugs all in one box. That was fun. Up next, I couldn't believe my luck with this one. I picked up a box of Formula One racing car trading cards. I picked up it was an entire set. It was open box, unfortunately. So when I picked it up, I was really hoping that there was going to be a card or 2 or more in the box that was worth a little bit of money. I got it for $3 at auction. Nobody bid against me on these trading cards for F1 racers, and so I got it for $3 at auction. I pulled out a few of them, and I did some research on them, and I'm glad I did. I sold this Michael Schumacher rookie card from Formula One race cars. It was the rookie card and 3 other cards which showed him in his car and that kind of thing with the logo and that stuff for a total of $86 US for 4 trading cards. That's it. Now, one of them had sold for upwards of $700 earlier in the fall, but I think that was a European seller selling to a European buyer, and I don't ship overseas right now. So maybe if I did ship overseas, I would have got a lot more money for it. But I'm still very happy with that $86 sale for 4 trading cards that cost me less than pennies each, because now I've still got the rest of that set. I'm going to group together some of the drivers' cards from the set and to sell those at $10 to $15 to $20 a piece, depending on how popular a driver they were back in the day and how big a star they became. So great sale, great turnaround on trading cards. Trading cards are coming back. I'm telling you, if you're a follower of Gary Vaynerchuk at all, he'll tell you too. Trading cards are huge right now. The right ones, the right players. Basketball is really big in the United States as far as trading cards goes, but worldwide there's soccer and there's Formula One racing, so there's all kinds of possibilities when it comes to trading cards, even in 2020. Keep an eye out for them. Now, semi-modern stuff to back in the day stuff. Picked up a whole bunch of tiny little plastic figurines at auction for about $4, maybe 6 months ago or so. Went through them, split them up into the different characters that they were. I think I told you last What Sold episode about a set of Garfield figurines that I sold for half decent money, $25 when I paid $2 for them. Well, this was a set of 6 Marx brand, which is a very popular brand of plastic figurines from back in the day, Flintstone figurines. And one of the 6 figures was Barney Rubble, which apparently is very hard to find. So I sold that for $25 plus $6 towards the shipping. And again, the big batch of figurines cost me $4 at auction. So to get $25 for just the 6 Flintstones figurines was great. Great return on that one. Up next, something I told you about. I'm not sure I showed it to you because of how big it was, but it was an Alpine car stereo equalizer. I'd already sold the receiver a few months ago for about $65 to $85, something like that, in that neighborhood. But I sold the equalizer for $75 plus another $10 for the shipping. I paid a grand total of $5 for the radio and the equalizer, so made well over $150 or so on that $5 investment for the car stereo system. Car stereos are still selling. They sell great, especially if it's an older model or a really good quality older model. That'll sell for really good money. And actually, just today, I picked up some winnings from an auction I took part in on Wednesday night, and there are 3 car radios in there, including one from a Studebaker. Yeah, I'll show you that in the next haul video. How about that? This next one was another piece that was just in the bottom. It was on a table. I bought a whole table of stuff at one of the local auctions for $10, and I've already sold a bunch of things off of that table. But then this small little thing that was in a box on that table sold for $50 plus $6 towards the shipping. It is a skeleton key with a lock set. I found all the pieces to them in the box. There was the lock set. There was the tiny little keyhole edge for when you put it in a door or in a cupboard. And then there was the actual skeleton key, and it was all working, all really clean, an excellent shape, pure brass because it was super heavy. $50 for that. And I mean, I paid, when you average it out, I probably paid about $1 for that. So it was great. You keep your eye out for vintage locksmith type things. I have another, it is a combination lock, and it looks like it is a salesman sample where they showed how the combination lock works and that kind of thing. Unfortunately, I don't have the combination to it, but that is listed, and comps are in the $85 range for that. And that's off the same table. So great return on vintage locks. So keep an eye out for those. Well, I showed you this in my last haul video, and I have to show you the fact that he's already sold. It was this great big huge Shrek plush. That's hard to say. I sold Shrek for $32 on a best offer. I think he sold within 3 days of being listed, plus another $10 towards the shipping. And as I say, 3 days in the listing, it went, I think it was a far west coast one, but I was able to squish him up pretty good because he was a plush, and it's off at its new owner. So that I knew that wasn't going to take long because of how big and how popular Shrek still is for character. So that was great. $32 on a $5 Goodwill plush purchase. That was a great return. A couple of months ago, I picked up a lot of camera equipment at a Max Sold auction. I paid a grand total of $22 for all of the camera equipment. There was a couple of still cameras, a vintage still camera, and then there was an entire Sony Handycam set. It had batteries, it had filters, it had tapes for the Sony Handycam, 8mm Handycam. I sold that entire set for $100 US on a best offer, plus another $13 towards the shipping. So again, it's the old electronics. If you can get this camera was working spot on. I tested it, powered up the batteries, tried it with battery, tried it plugged in, videotaped stuff, played it back so I could hear it and everything. Everything was working on this camera, so it was in great shape. And I got $100 for it when it cost me probably $5 total. So again, the returns that I'm getting on the electronics are great. Electronics for me though, they're a little scary because you never know. That seems to be, along with clothing, one of the two areas that is most susceptible to returns and INAD returns and fake returns and that kind of thing. So I always am a little wary of selling electronics, but I couldn't resist selling a almost brand new looking vintage Sony Handycam. So it was a great return on that one. Last but not least is a tiny little item that I just wanted to show you because of the return I got on it as well. And to keep your eye out for heritage type stuff. This was a Scottish clan plaque. I picked this one and another one up at the local Goodwill for $3 a piece. This one sold for $35 plus $10 for the shipping. And what it is it's the actual tartan for that specific clan with their symbol, and it's on a beautiful plaque. And on the back, there was a certificate of authenticity from wherever this was originally purchased in Scotland. So it actually is authentic Scottish made clan crest. And both of them sold about within 2 weeks after I listed them, and both of them sold for the $35 or so. So people are into their own names and their family history. So if you're able to find that kind of thing, anything to do with family history or a name on something, it sells. Maybe not if the name is Frank, engraved in a silver cup or something like that, but you know what I mean. People's, especially surnames, if you've got anything Scottish, Irish, that kind of stuff, that sells. People want the historic type things related to their names and their clan, especially if they're Scottish. So I just thought that was a great sale. And the fact that I sold two of them, when I wasn't sure they were going to go for anything over $10, $15, but I took a shot, and sure enough, they went for $35 a piece. So that was great. That was great. So it was a good month. 45 sales, as I mentioned, for the month of November. December starting off fairly well as well. And just going to keep grinding on. I already, it's the 5th of December as I'm taping this, already running into problems with shipping and the delays at U.S. Postal Service. So hopefully that doesn't get too bad here in the next week. I'm thinking if somebody doesn't buy something by the 12th of December, they're not getting it for Christmas. Not a chance, even through USPS. There's no way, because of the volume and the staff illness issues that USPS is experiencing. If somebody hasn't bought something before the 10th or 12th of December, I don't think they're going to get it in time for Christmas, unless it's one state over and first class or priority mail, that kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes. I hope it doesn't cause too many problems for eBay sellers, because people forget that we are eBay sellers and not next day Amazon sellers, and issues arise, as they say. Well, that's it. So that's what's sold. Next episode is going to be a auction and thrifting haul video, and that will be coming very shortly. It's good to see you again, and I hope everybody is staying well. Please wear a mask if you can. things are getting interesting all over the place, and who knows where things will happen and what'll happen in the next even week to 2 weeks. I think governments are going to hold off till after Christmas for any big lockdowns, but we'll see what happens then. Anyhow, stay well, everybody. Wear your mask so I can see you right here for another episode very soon, right here on M Cubed. Bye for now. Cheers.